Hello, my name is Mohamed Ahmed, and today we will be talking about sustainable demolition. A little history about building construction is that before the 20th century, buildings contributed little to the environmental degradation. This was because buildings were mostly craft based, so there was more human labor and simple machinery used, and the raw materials used were excavated locally. So the conversion from these raw materials to the final product did not take that much energy. Another thing is that the building's operations and maintenance was low as well, meaning that uh, maintaining water, lighting, heating, cooling was low because in general daylight was the fundamental source of light. As time went along, inventions like the air conditioner, which was made by Willis Carrier in 1902, and as transportation was developed, the world's energy use increased. And around the 1970s, the people began to realize that they were abusing the Earth's resources, and this led them to pursue sustainable development because it included the dimension of time and being able to sustain certain construction processes in healthy ways will prolong the Earth's life and the resources for the future generations. So the demolition of a building, when thinking about the demolition of a building, some questions that come to mind are: how will the building be demolished and disposed of? Will any part of this process cause pollution of air, water, or soil? And can demolished materials be recycled or reused in any way instead of being waste? Recovery and reusability. An effective way of greening a building is by using materials recovered from the demolition of other buildings. But we have to make sure that these materials are usable for the new building, meaning that it's in good quality and shape and it can do whatever the building needs to do. Well, for the demolition process, we have 4 steps: surveying, removal of hazardous materials, preparation of the plan, and safety measures. When surveying, there are 2 types of surveys: building surveying and structural surveying. Building surveying is when the surveys of any hazardous materials in the building, such as toxic chemicals or radioactive materials, are found, and possible issues concerning like water pollution and flooding, as well as pedestrian and vehicle traffic, and surveying the other buildings around the building that's planning to be demolished. Structural surveying is when the structural system and conditions of basements and underground tanks and vaults are inspected, and the condition of the building itself, and seeing what the demolition process should go from there. The second step is the removal of hazardous materials. After the survey has been done, if any hazardous materials such as radioactive metals are found, specialized personnel come in and they extract these materials. The third step is the preparation of the demolition plan. This plan entails the location of the building, the distances of surrounding buildings and streets, a detailed sequence of events for the demolition, a plan that entails measures for the protection of the public, a plan for handling the demolished debris, and the amount of time that goes into the demolition. The fourth step is safety measures. All staff are notified with the potential hazards and the process of the demolition. To be safe, the firefighting team are stationed at the demolition site until the process is over. And throughout the process of the demolition, people are exposed to dust, chemicals, heat stress, and loud noises. Therefore, certain measures should be taken, such as having medical staff on site. There are 2 ways of demolition: explosive demolition and non-explosive demolition. So now we will be talking about non-explosive demolition materials. So all the way to the left is a sledgehammer, and that can be used to demolish a wall. And in the middle is an excavator, which can be used to excavate soil. And all the way to the right is a wrecking ball, which is mostly used for 6 to 7 story buildings to demolish them. Now we'll be talking about explosive demolition. If you've ever seen an explosive demolition, the way the buildings fall almost vertically down is done by imploding the building instead of exploding it. And this implosion technique, the main supports like the columns, beams, and slabs are fixed with explosives. And the two main explosive materials that we use are dynamite and RDX. The types of implosions, one is falling like a tree, or basically falling sideward. And this is commonly used when there is free space available around the building that you're trying to demolish. If there isn't enough space, falling into its own footprint is another type of implosion where the building falls vertically down. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.